Joining us here on Kababayan Today is Jason Tengco, and he is with Hillary for America. We're talking to him because it's important that we understand how this Filipino American has gotten to this position, what it's taken for him to really, get into politics. I mean, you don't see a lot of Filipino Americans in politics. You can count on your hands how many. You have Commissioner Joel Jacinto, you have Rob Bonta. I know there's a lot more, but off the top of my head, I cannot name them. Why are there so few Filipino Americans in politics, Jason?
Yeah, well, I think it really starts with kind of, our parents and their generation coming from the Philippines, and that kind of sentiment that voting in the Philippines, is a little bit corrupt, or, they don't really feel like being politically engaged really amounts to anything. So kind of transferring that sort of, that sort of feeling here to the United States. Growing up, I was never really politically engaged. It's not like our parents are talking about voting compared to like studying and getting good grades and everything. Yes, get good grades.
Make sure that's exactly what Filipino parents do is, oh, did you get good grades? You have all A's and then one B. And what do the parents do? You parents, what do? Why did you get a B? Instead of good job on the A's. No, this is true. Yeah. This is true. What can parents do so that they can engage their children to really get involved?
Yeah. I think talking about the issues that matter to them, that matters to families, and starting and having that conversation. It's oftentimes, again, about jobs and the economy, and a lot of people don't realize that every single vote counts. And when Filipino Americans don't vote, we're not, politicians don't necessarily see us as, or, they don't really feel like they're accountable to us as a community because we don't vote as a kind of voting bloc. And so for us, and parents can really play a key role in this, is talking to their kids about why it is so important to be represented and to be counted in every single election, whether it's presidential or local school, city councils or school boards or whatever it is. These elected officials make decisions that impact us on an everyday basis. So it's really important for us to make sure that we vote, but also they're accountable to us as Filipino Americans.
Okay, so as a Filipino American, you've been in the same room as the Clintons, okay? Yep. I know for some that's like, okay, whatever, but for me, that's a big deal. Yeah. That's a big deal because, you're shaking hands with Bill Clinton. That's huge. How does a Filipino kid from San Francisco get to that point where you're shaking hands with Bill Clinton?
Yeah. It really started in college for me. The issue for me that opened my eyes to political and community engagement was Filipino American World War II veterans. I had come into college not wanting to get involved, and folks were sort of flyering or talking about Phil-Am vets. And I was like, what is this issue? And that for me really opened my eyes to injustice. And the fact that these, again, the manongs and veteranos had fought in World War II, but then Congress passed the Rescission Act and deemed their service ineligible. So they didn't receive the same benefits as their counterparts. Fast forward 70 years, and they still haven't received the money that they deserved. And so for me as a student, that really opened my eyes. And that encouraged me to want to get more involved, both in the community, but to also push, Congress to do something about it, because it really was in their hands. And that was really the first issue that kind of helped me get involved in politics.
Okay, how did you make your way to Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, so I'd interned for a congressman, Javier Becerra, who represents parts of Los Angeles, when I was a sophomore between my sophomore and junior year at UCLA. So I'd interned for him, and the experience in DC was just like so eye-opening. I was like, I told myself.
So how long were you there in DC for?
I was just there for a summer in 2008. And after I graduated in 2010, I was applying for some jobs, and I got the offer to intern at the White House. So that's how I started, and that's how it first, one kind of opportunity led to another. I'd worked for the Asian Pacific American Labor Alliance. I'd worked on the Hill with Congressman Mike Honda, and then that helped take me to the White House Initiative, and one kind of opportunity, again, kind of led to another. But it was really, the individuals who were pushing me to, go to DC and to make change at a national level that really encouraged me to do that.
Okay, Jason, you only graduated in 2010.
Yeah.
It's only 2006, 6 years
Yeah,
later.
2016, yeah.
You are now the AAPI director for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
That's a really fast climb, would you not say so?
Yeah, no, thank you. And, you know, I think it just really shows, there's the quote that, you know, youth are the future. Well, I always like to actually push back on that. Youth are the present too. Young leaders are doing things. And you know, oftentimes we're told to kind of wait our turn, to kind of step back and let other kind of more, you know, seasoned people, you know, kind of make the decisions. But, you know, I really encourage young leaders to get involved and to step up and to take leadership roles, because they are. We're leading organizations, we're involved in campaigns.
Yes, and you've been on this campaign trail with a lot of other Filipino Americans, right? There's Phil-Ams for Hillary.
Yes.
How's that been like, being amongst these Phil-Ams that are really on the same sort of goal as you?
They've been incredible, and a lot of them are my mentors. You know, folks like Cerritos Council member Mark Polito, who's also
a Bruin.
You know, and even just great folks like Melissa Ramoso, just really active Filipino Americans. You know, being able to work with them, but also to encourage, you know, the younger folks to also get engaged. Current students, you know, the recent graduates, you know, other Bruins, to get involved too with the campaign. So.
Okay, so when we return here on Kababayan Today, we're going to talk about Hillary's platform and how that pertains to us Filipino Americans. Jason's going to tell us when we return on Kababayan Today.